In 2001, the OG Xbox was released, and with it came one of the most iconic pieces of brick ever to be held in consumers' hands while playing a video game on consoles. The first generation Xbox controller, nicknamed the Duke, was the first controller bundled with the Xbox systems for all countries except Japan. After a whole year of complaining, a smaller and redesigned variant called Xbox S, or Controller S, was sold, and this was the one bundled in the console in Japan. And I really do mean this controller was made fun of due to its size. So you can only imagine my surprise when Microsoft announced that a remake of the Duke would be coming this year, made by Hyperkin. I managed to get my hands on this beast for $70, which yes, that is the asking price. But anyways, let's not beat around the bush and just get to the controller, shall we? Hyperkin has somewhat successfully recreated the original 2001 Xbox controller, aka the Duke, as an official Xbox licensed controller compatible with Xbox One consoles and Windows 10 PCs. The Duke features a home button with an animated Xbox logo display screen, which why I have no idea, precision analog sticks, triggers, a headset jack, a 9 feet detachable cable, and the return of the black and white buttons. Now in presentation, this thing looks pretty good. I mean, it's just a recreation, so not much you can fuck up on. More importantly than the presentation is how it works when playing games. For this review, I played 8 games in total, 4 OG Xbox backwards compatible games, 2 Xbox 360 games, and 2 Xbox One games. This was to get a feel of how the controller really handled with each game and to see if it was comfortable while playing. To start off with, I played Black, a pretty good FPS game from 2005. Without talking too much about the game itself, the Duke actually felt pretty good here. Since the button prompts are the exact same, I had no trouble adjusting to it. It was as simple as just picking up the controller and playing. Next, I played Conquer Live and Reloaded. This was probably the worst experience of the bunch, considering that the controls in this game are pretty bad as it is. Still, it worked as intended, and Bad Fur Day is as fun as I remembered, although the controls are pretty terrible in the online portion. Next was Destroy All Humans, another classic game from 2005. Again, the Duke worked perfectly and really felt right at home. Finally, I played Jade Empire, which I do recommend you play regardless of the controller you have or what system you get it on. Like before, the Duke just fits perfectly. Considering these games were made with the Duke in mind, it's not surprising that they felt good with it.
Nice little town you have here. Not a lot of guards, are there? How are your stocks of food?
I don't know you. Why are you asking me all these questions?
This town isn't well guarded. Forget it, let's just start looting. We'll get first crack at the good stuff.
You're right. This isn't worth it.
Now before I move on to the next couple of games, I must mention I tried playing the Medal of Honor games, only to find out they weren't backwards compatible. Now this is a load of shit. They have MX Unleashed, but not the most classic World War II games of the generation. Thank you, Xbox! Anyways, back to the review. Now, unfortunately, I don't have footage of the Xbox 360 games, but just so then you know which ones I played, they were Vanquish and The Darkness 2. Both of these games I recommend you pick up, whether it be on 360, PC, Xbox, you name it. Just pick them up. They're really great games. For when it comes to the Xbox One games that I played, the Duke was fucking horrible. Now, it works as intended, but there is a reason why these controllers were replaced within the same year. It's just awkward as fuck. The controller is simply too big to ever feel remotely comfortable. I also have a problem with the bumpers themselves. Yeah, you know, the buttons above the triggers on all modern day controllers. These things are the worst. They're so small and unresponsive that in the heated moment I'll die because the button push didn't register properly. On top of that, the placement is so awkward since it wasn't built for this design. Now I played these Halo games on Heroic, and while I was able to make it through, it was still frustrating to die because this brick didn't work properly. The buttons are just simply awkward and they don't work as intended for at least this game in particular. As for Killing Floor 2, it was a little bit better. They don't really utilize the bumpers as much, but still it was super annoying. Like I said, the Duke just doesn't fit well. It's too big and cumbersome that when I try playing this game, it feels awkward as all hell. The Duke is just too uncomfortable to use while playing these types of games. After everything's said and done, the Duke feels more like a gimmick more than anything else. For the people who are nostalgic or just fanboys who'll just buy this shit right up. It's bad. It's really bad. I'm not even joking here. It's fucking horseshit. If you want an authentic experience playing Xbox OG games, then it does its job fine. However, trying to use this for modern games is just a pain in the ass and a huge chore. There's really no reason to get this thing, and for $70, it's not even cheap enough to where I could recommend it as an authentic experience for the backwards compatibility games. My final verdict for the Duke controller is a 5 out of 10. It's just a gimmick, and not a very good one at that. Stay far away from this thing, and I'll see you next time on One Fair Review. As always, have a nice day.
We'll be right back.